Okay, good morning, everyone. Uh, Firstly, thank you for joining today's session and giving us an opportunity to share our knowledge and experience. Let me introduce myself, Kalenda Tejakumar, presently playing the role of General Secretary at the Kodagu Government of Bangalore. Apart from my social service, I come from an engineering background in the field of information technology world, and played multiple roles and have close to almost 28 plus years of experience in India and abroad. Let me set the expectancy that I'm not here to push or insist the participants or viewers to follow what being shared in this session. We are here to just share our learnings and know-how. With this, let's start the session on soft skill experience sharing. Okay, to start with, the phrase soft skill means it incorporates a wide variety of personality traits, communication, people skills, social attitudes, and emotional intelligence. This quality is also known as core skills, right? Are increasingly important for success in the workplace and not just for those in leadership position. Everyone can benefit from some focused training and development to help them realize their full potential. So as you see the slide, the soft skill tend to be more personality focused as opposed to be based on qualification, technical skills, or occasional experience that includes things like people skill, social skill, interpersonal skills, and transferable skills as such. So if you list out some of the ones that comes in mind is communication skills, teamwork, problem solving, dependability, critical thinking, positivity, organization, creativity, adaptability, conflict resolution, behavior skills, personality development, leadership, negotiation skill, presentation skills, time management, human resources. It's based on your domain expertise as well. Sales training, managerial development, and emotional intelligence as such, right? So yes, it is some kind of a core skill is what we have to kind of understand about the soft skill as such. Okay, so as you all know that the Stanford Research Institute internationally determines that 75% of the long-term success in a given job role is based on a mastery of soft skills. Okay, and 20 and only I mean it's about 25% of that job success come from technical skills. The result of soft skill are impressive. So let's take a closer look on how it all works. Okay, in contract, see, basically the hard skills or technical skills that are often job specific, right? They come from be it a certification program, employee training, domain knowledge, and work experience, and can be taught, measured, and tested through exams, deliverables, quiz, practical assignments, as such, right? So, so if you look at the hard skill, it's a skill that is required, and you've been recruited for the job, right? So apart from your deliverables or responsibility, other factors add value such as people development and value creator. So during assessment or appraisal or career development or promotions, apart from your day-to-day job profile, the people development and value creator plays an important role. Okay, let's understand what exactly the people development aspects of it. So delivering in your role job you are hired for or positioned for into it's just a plain cake. Let me just put an analogy to it. Okay, it's individual given roles and responsibility, right? And company hired for and they pay for you. But utilizing your technical skill, uh, the subject matter expertise, manager skill, domain expertise, you are delivering it. But that is just a plain cake. Okay. So how do you cream and decorate with a cherry, right? Is where your soft skill play an important role. Okay. So creaming it with people development and cherrying it with value addition or value creator or innovation is where you can kind of put a cream and cake cherry to it. So what you might be thinking about people development. So people development is not just about yourself. It's also about the team. It's about the company. It's about the client, customer, vendor, contractors, etc., etc. And yes, this is where your soft skills like clear communication, listening skill, self-control, positive attitude, assertiveness, empathy, depersonalization, taking responsibility, a sense of humor. That's very important too. Behavior skill, personality development, leadership skills, negotiation, presentation, time management, emotional intelligence, teamwork, and networking. Networking is nothing but how do you kind of build yourself within the organization to with different department as well as uh, to get your work done. And this is more just to touch upon the people development or people's soft skill as such. Okay, and there are certain soft skills which are more of value creator, right? See, basically in this world, when I'll put my example into place, when I go for a solution architect, right? When I go for a deal for 5 years, first year you give some give a presentation to them. Second year they expect a 10% productivity increment. That is, if you're taking 100 hours to do a job, they expect you to reduce 10% in the second year. So how do you do? It is basically your value creator skill come into picture. Okay, be it an asset creator or be proactive in defect fixing or identifying the issue and risk, all that stuff. So some of the value creator is asset creation, productivity, improve ROI, return on investment, critical thinking, and conflict resolution, issue of defect rate reduction, or and yes, innovation is kind of should be in your day-to-day job as such. And the other term which comes into my mind is sell while delivery. Okay, that is, see, when you know the client, you know their application, know their business well, it's easy to penetrate and get more sales while you are supporting them as such. Okay, and yes, it is also important you improve client satisfaction rate also. So that's more about what I'm not going in depth about it, but I just want to give an idea about what exactly the soft skill adds value to it, apart from your delivery skills. Yes, the people development skills and the value creator adds a bigger value to your prospect of your career as well as your it's not just your career, even it helps in your business too. Okay, so yes, uh, as per some of the experts, and I got it from the net as such. So some top soft skills that they have listed as shown in the PPT as such. I hope everyone can see the PPT, right? Okay. So with this, if you look at it, the competency like communication, conflict resolution, problem solving underpins almost every facet of business operations. Okay, across your organization in every business unit and employee role. Okay, soft skill are crucial for gaining new clients, improving customer service metrics, and build a strong team dynamics. Okay, so if I look at it, look at the slide, the top soft skills, what employees loves, be it any profession, time management. Time management is not just being on time to office. There are multiple aspects. I don't want to get into this, but there is enough material available on the net. You can surely get yourself exercised in it. And communication, adaptability, problem solving, teamwork, creativity, leadership, interpersonal skills, work ethic, attention to details, etc., etc. Are some of the top 10 where, as a group of professionals have seen, this is very key uh, for your to cream up your career path as such. Okay, let's see. For example, you might think, okay, how it might impact your or gain from a soft skill program. But see, as per my understanding and a few of my experience sharing, let me share 3 points that I can think about. Okay, for example, improve customer service. Okay, this could be considered the most obvious benefit for improving soft skill in the workplace. your employee will be able to actively listen more kind of effectively and establish your customer needs, identify problem, and help them resolve it. Right. They are also like to have more compassion and empathy, right, after enhancement of soft skills, which can have a large positive impact on customer service as such. So next one comes into mind is increased sales, right? So improving soft skill can benefit your sales team during the sales negotiation process. Employee can use their competency to kind of engage with the client or on a more personal level without breaching the all important professional boundaries. And your customer will definitely appreciate this when employee take additional time to discuss the pain points that your client experience and match them with the right solution. The sales will result by itself, right? The other important aspect that also popped in my mind, and recently even Ravin also shared as such, it might be a problem with the individual, or it might be a problem with your company or whatever it is. Improve employee retention, right? So your employee will retain more talent because they invested in their professional growth and they pay for it, right? So you can reduce the need to hire and train the replacement staff through reduced organization cost, right? So, for example, if you get a resume which within 5 years he has jumped 6 companies, will you hire him? Or it is his problem, or it's a company problem, whatever per se it is. So it's a red mark on your resume as such, right? I'm not talking in depth about how your resume look like. We'll have another session dedicated to resume building as such. So this is some of the things that a soft skill can impact an individual or to the company as such. So additionally, soft skill improve knowledge retention and equip employees to take ownership on their personal development, because it's not just a company development, it's organization development, it is even your personal development. It matters a lot for the company as well as for your personal growth as such. So with this, let me go to the next slide. We might be confused about what is this hard skill and soft skill as such. Okay, you might be hearing this in the corporate world as such. What exactly this is all about? The slide clearly tells about. Say the hard skill tends to relate to the core business of an organization, such as be it a writing skill, computer networking skill, machine operation, business analysis, accounting, design, and construction. So whatever the domain you are into, okay. But whereas in soft skills deals more of interpersonal relationship, involve things like conflict resolution, communication, listening, and problems solving. And the most important thing you have to look at the slide is yes, soft skill is not intangible, and it is not non-technical. It is non-technical and it is non-domain specific. It's purely where you kind of whereas in hard skill, yes, it is can be rule based and it can be trained, or there is a tools and techniques can be used and methodology can be used, and it's a repeatable, predictable, and it's a tangible one. Okay, so this is where you can relate how well you need to position yourself to get yourself better on the soft skill as such. Whoever wants to get yourself smarter and contribute yourself to the soft skills. So let's move on to the next slide. It's more of how a soft skill development, the impact on the business bottom line and individual growth. Okay. So as mentioned, the soft skill development is often kind of underestimated and not given due importance. Okay. Plus, while hard skill can be learned and mastered over time and with repetitions. Okay. And soft skill can be hardened to develop and more difficult to accurately evaluate and measure. There are reasons for a huge shortage of soft skills. Trust me, when the LinkedIn carried out a study covering almost 100 metropolitan cities in United States and discovered a communication skill shortage of 1.4 million people. Okay, let me quote a case. As I told you earlier, the technical skills you can gain it using certification, SME, But with soft skill, it's purely based on your practice and your more of an personality, how you want to fine tune yourself to fit to the market. Even trust me, people who cannot do a proper delivery, they can still survive in the company because they have a strong soft skill into play as such. Okay. Uh, with this, I just want to pitch in a short video that would help us to get a little bit more insight about the soft skills. So I'll just start the video and just bear with me for a few minutes. And then we'll go for an experience sharing session with other people who can give their experience sharing. And then we'll accordingly go
What
about
are
it.
soft skills in the workplace? We're going to look at the top 8 soft skills that cut across most professional situations. One way to understand what soft skills are is by looking at hard skills. These are job-specific technical skills. So if you're a software developer, your hard skills are your ability to program. If you're an accountant, it's your ability to do your client's taxes. Every area of specialty comes with certain expectations for technical knowledge and hands-on skills. In contrast, soft skills are more general and cut across most types of jobs. Soft skills are essentially your ability to work well with others. When a physician takes the time to connect with other doctors with a professional attitude and talk to nurses in supportive ways and really listen to patients, those physicians are building relationships through their soft skills. When I do consulting and workshops, the most common problem I see is that most of my clients are smart, they are competent, but they have underdeveloped soft skills and it's holding them back. So 2 resources I would suggest are on my website. I have classes at the Communication Coach Academy. Then there's always at least 1 free class there. I also have a free PDF download on the 5 essential communication skills that every professional should have. I'll put links to those in the description below the video. To prepare for this video, I looked at 5 different online articles on soft skills until I started to see clear overlap. Links to those articles are in the description below, and I stopped at 5 articles because they all started to mention the same skills. I then boiled down those separate lists into the 8 most commonly mentioned soft skills across those lists. So roughly speaking, I list these in order of priority based upon those lists and also my own professional experience working with clients in corporate settings. So here's the list. Number 1, the top soft skill on almost every list is leadership. Now, granted, you could say that all of these soft skills are part of leadership, and that's accurate in one sense, but here we're talking about perhaps the difference between management and leadership. Managing in many ways is about maintaining the status quo. Management is usually tied to an official position. Leading, in a nutshell, is your ability to successfully guide a group of people from point A to point B. And you don't need an official leadership position to demonstrate that. I was once working with a client and I came back a year later to the same organization, and the guy I had been working with had been promoted from individual contributor to team leader. He had the same hard skills roughly as everybody else, but he showed leadership skills long before they ever promoted him to that actual leadership position. So some specific leadership skills he was good at were communicating inspiring goals and a vision. He's also a pretty good coach, teacher, mentor, and motivator to the team. Leadership also means keeping the effort on track by facilitating, building consensus, and engaging everybody along the way. You can do all those things, even if you don't have the word supervisor in your job title. Number 2 is communication. And like leadership, this word means a lot of different things. So I'll narrow it down to being skilled at both verbal and nonverbal communication. Verbal communication often means your ability to communicate clearly and concisely. This usually means giving clear updates at group and team meetings. It means being good at writing emails and reports so they are easy to follow and well organized. Nonverbal communication often means the vibe that you give off. You are communicating maybe supportive, positive, and other kinds of good nonverbal cues like eye contact, facial expressions, body language. I know a guy I used to work with who gave off horrible nonverbals. He used to roll his eyes and make faces when he disagreed and shake his head. His boss finally had to talk to him about it because it was dragging everybody else down and really was holding him back from his own advancement. Without ever saying a word, you can create a negative or positive impression just based upon your nonverbal cues. At more advanced levels, communication skills would also include good public speaking and presentation skills. Stand-up speaking is a great way to accelerate your career. Good storytelling skills are also important and can help you make a point in a way that really sticks. And your persuasive communication skills will help you build a case when you're asking for project approval, funding, or getting people enlisted into an initiative that you care about. Number 3 are your interpersonal skills. And on some lists, this is simply called people skills. But generally speaking, interpersonal skills include things like listening well to others. We get a lot of credit for paying attention when other people are talking and signaling to them that we're following along. We also want to communicate a positive attitude. We want to be friendly, courteous to others. And I'm thinking of a guy I used to work with who had an excellent ability to build rapport with others, to show empathy. He used light humor when it was appropriate. And this made it much easier and enjoyable for him to bond with others and to get the work done. Interpersonal skills also count our ability to communicate assertively and say what we mean, but do it in a way that does not come across as aggressive or hostile. And you have to learn to be diplomatic, especially when you disagree. And that also may include giving criticism in supportive ways and accepting criticism with composure and maturity. Number 4 is work ethic, self-motivation. We want to demonstrate that we have a strong work ethic, an internal drive, and dependability. Other people should know, for example, that they can count on us. That means taking self-responsibility for our work, taking initiative, and showing good self-direction. When I receive calls from employers for references, most employers will ask me about an applicant's ability to meet deadlines, their attendance, time management. These are the basics, and I think what they're really asking about is the work ethic and self-motivation. Employers don't want to hire people they have to micromanage and wonder if they're going to be working hard. Number 5 is teamwork. And again, this is another big word that can certainly include many of the skills we've already mentioned, but specifically, teamwork often means our ability to collaborate, work cooperatively with others on joint projects. Part of teamwork is knowing how to connect and put your heads together with other people on your actual team, and also work with people in other departments in larger organizations. I'm thinking of a boss, a former supervisor I used to work for, who had very high marks on teamwork. She was able to work with a diverse group of stakeholders who often did not share her area of expertise. She took a good collectivistic view of the team outcomes, and the entire effort. She came up out of her silo, you might call it, her own little area of expertise and jargon, and she learned how to talk to everybody. We probably all know people who do the opposite. They are too individualistic and only concerned about their own tasks and their own individual projects. But if you want high marks for soft skills, and working with other people on a team is really critical. Number 6 is problem solving. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. He works behind the scenes in television, and he said that his job is essentially solving one problem after the next all day long. They start with a plan, but there's never enough money or help, and there's always obstacles they didn't see coming. And our ability to find a way to move forward and solve those problems is really important. Problem solving usually involves critical thinking, logical reasoning, and we have to have the ability to think through an issue clearly and reasonably. Problem solving also involves making good decisions, informed decisions. We can't just do what we feel like doing. We have to come up with a solution that actually is going to work, not just the first idea that comes to mind or just go with our favorite way of doing things. And that takes preparation and a systematic approach, research, creativity, and a good dose of personal resourcefulness. Number 7 is flexibility and adaptability. Most of us work on a variety of tasks with all sorts of different people, and that means we have to be flexible and open to change and find new ways of doing things oftentimes. And this is really hard for some people. I worked with a client for a while who was very inflexible. And once she got an idea in her head, she would protect it and she would shoot down any other suggestions. Well, that's not a good example of soft skills. We need to have the self-awareness to realize that we have our own personality quirks, our own mental boxes. We have to do our best to put that aside. We have to get better at adapting to others and responding to uncertainty and change with flexibility. And that means at times to be open, trainable, and work well under pressure on deadlines and somehow still get described as someone who is easy to work with. We have to learn how to roll with changes and keep moving forward even when the situation is ambiguous. Number 8 is our ability to manage and resolve conflict and even negotiate a little bit. And this begins, of course, by being the kind of person who does not create conflict. I honestly believe that when people say they're looking for someone with good conflict management skills, that's another way to say we don't want someone who is going to cause conflict, who has a tendency to create drama. And you can usually tell because this type of person has a win-lose philosophy. In order for them to win, somebody else must lose. So they act competitive in times and in places where it's not necessary at all. In my experience, people with a win-lose or conflict-driven approach usually brought that with them from their own personal life, and they brought it into the workplace. They are like that every place they work, in other words. And you don't want to be this person. So first, don't be a source of conflict. And next, when conflict comes up between you and others around you, learn to deal with it appropriately and productively. That means looking for common ground, finding ways to get everybody's interests met, and somehow using a disagreement to make things even better in the end. And this might mean drawing on negotiation skills or facilitation skills to hear everybody out, make sure everybody feels understood. You want to take a win-win approach and look for a satisfactory outcome for everybody involved, not just you. It often means being the bigger person, the more mature person, in other words. Question of the day, which of these top 8 soft skills do you need the most work on personally? And feel free to check out my free download of the 5 essential communication skills that every professional should have. And there's always a free class at my Communication Coach Academy. Links to all of those resources and more are in the description below. So thanks, God bless, and I will see you next time.
Okay, guys, thanks a lot for spending your time to listen to him. And it's purely based on his inputs and experience. Okay, let's invest some time
What
to
are soft?
let's go ahead and see what exactly anyone wants to share about your experience, so that we can leave a legacy to the people who can get your experience sharing to their message. Anyone likes to talk about it? Most welcome. Okay, silence means anybody wants to talk or share your experience? Too much silence will be bad for the recording too. If somebody talking and their mic is mute, please unmute. Okay, is there any chat? Okay, I think Praveen, there is nothing, should I go ahead and close it? Anyway, see, basically, the soft skill is a big world, all right? I'm just sharing, this is one, I hope you can see the, this most in demand soft skill. It's a huge one. I'm just glancing it so that you can understand what are some of the most in demand soft skills available and how you can groom yourself to get yourself smarter in this. So leadership, communication, teamwork, time management. And you can see that what is that key competency. If somebody wants this, I can provide the details. And why train your employee in the skills. You can find it. Problem solving, critical thinking. And yes, there are many modules for other courses, for administrative skill courses, human resources courses, skill career development courses, personal development courses, sales and marketing. It's based on your job profile, supervisors and workplace. This is it. And you might see this also nowadays because yes, this is some of the skills which are essential, be it any place you are in. Even a security person need to know how to enter something in the Excel or Word or whatever it is, etc. Okay. So nowadays it's become more. If a person has these skills, they have more demand in the market as such. Okay. With this, if no one wants to have any say in it, let me finish off and then I'll allow Praveen to do the vote of thanks. 1 second, give me 2 minutes. Okay, since there is no, if somebody wants to share offline, you're most welcome. And as I mentioned earlier, once it's just an experience sharing, so don't take it that what personally what I mentioned is the kind of a thing. I'm just sharing my experience, so you can refer your what best you can find in the market as well as whatever the company provides you as such. Okay. So with this, I kind of end before ending. I just want to know: is there any question to be answered, or is there anything that you need? If I can answer it, I'm more than happy to answer it. Any questions? Okay, guys. Praveen, I'll leave it to you. Thanks a lot for your time. Praveen, is there?
ಓಕೆ, ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ತೇಜ. ಇಂದಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ. ಸೊ ಕೊಡಗುಗೌಡ ಸಮಾಜ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ತೇಜ ಅವರಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಯೋಚಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಬಟ್ ಯಾರು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಲೇಟರ್ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಅನ್ ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸೆಷನ್, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ನಾವು ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಇವೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡತ್ತಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೂನು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹುಮ್ಮನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಗಳ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಯಿಂದ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾರು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಮುಂದಿನ ಇವೆಂಟ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ತಯಾರಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ತೇಜ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ಇಂದಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮನ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ.